Okay, so this video is actually about the installation of my B2 Carrier system. That's instead of the Sherpa, you can get that little system where you can mount the Expedition box on there, and it's got the poles that stick out for your one-up bike racks. So this video is actually about that. It kind of starts off a little weird, and so I'm just doing this little video here to kind of explain what's going on. So what I'm talking about at that point, I'm talking about how I've removed the ladder and what it kind of looks like and what I have to do because I've got that factory ladder rack system on top of that, and I'm wondering what I'm going to do with that whole system. But anyways, I end up removing all that, and I think I got another video on that, but I went ahead and removed that bracket. Anyway, the video begins weird because I'm just talking through that. You can fast forward through that first section. The reason why I made the video is that door panel on the passenger side is kind of a pain to get back on there. I had to use a couple of different trim tools to kind of get it on there. So I made a video so that in case you're wondering, you're working through that and you're wondering, how am I going to do this? Or am I going to break something or whatever? You can't do it. It's just pretty painful. So don't think you can just kind of rush through it or you don't have a lot of time and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this real quick before I go. No, you're going to need a nice calm day where you feel the most patient. Anyways, you can fast forward through this and whatever the first section is and just go to the part where that panel installs if that's what you're looking for. But anyways, I hope you have fun. I installed it, and I have no expertise whatsoever in this kind of stuff, guys. So if I can do it, then the whole purpose of these videos is if I can do it, I think just about anybody can do it. So, anyways, enjoy. That's what it looks like, and I've removed my ladder, and I just need to figure out what I am gonna do with that old ladder hook thingamabob. So I'm gonna take that off. And you know what? Now that I mention it, I think I saw somebody who had a rotor packs up there. I bet that's what they did. They just used those same holes right there to put that on there. So I might do the same thing, kind of use that space for something. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have holes up there. It wouldn't look too cool. And same thing with this. Probably need to figure out how to remove that and what to do with it. This is where the ladder used to go, and trying to figure out if that's an indentation or if it's just not clean. But anyways, that's what it looks like right now. I'm gonna go ahead and put the B2B or B2B, the B2 Carrier, and I started opening the box in here. Once again, they packed it really, really well. So no concerns over it being damaged or anything like that. And there's the hardware kit in there. Yep, not a lot to it. There's I think he said 1 1/4 inch bolts, and then just 1 inch ones, and the 1 inch go. No, I've forgotten. But anyways, I'll figure it out. And that's about that. So I'm gonna open this up and get it mounted on. I've got the kit opened up here for the B2, and this is what comes in the box. You got one of those little owl eye deals for the top, and then you got one of those for the bottom. You have the 1 1/4 inch bolts, 5 of them, and then you have 4 of the inch long ones, and then you also have a little sheet here with the instructions or a website where to go to get instructions. And then come over here, I pulled off the door, and this one's a little bit trickier because of this door handle or opener situation here, but it came off. I just kind of started pulling it up and put my hand in and kind of pop those out. I'll just remove these. Same thing I kind of did on that side when they were stuck in there. I'll take them out, then I'll plug them back into the door. And this is the door right here, and that's the positions that they stayed in the door after pulling them out. But same thing with this side, right? No insulation. This is the side that I've done. And then if you look on this side, no insulation whatsoever, no sound deadening. I mean, I guess if you want to call this insulation, you can, but it just doesn't seem to be well done. So I'll mount it, and here is the B2 over here, and I just got it unpacked. So the idea is to mount it onto the door, and then after you do that, kind of mark where the hole's gonna go and take it from there. Okay, so this is probably one of my worst videos yet because I've lost so much footage, and so I'm thinking that this is not very helpful to people, but it's the best that I had. So the next step here, you're gonna watch the following clip, and I've already kind of mounted it on there. So I'm gonna kind of talk through how you actually do that. So what you're gonna want to do is this part kind of helps having two people for this part, because somebody can help you kind of hold it up while you're putting the hand tightening the nuts and the bolts to the hinge on the van. So you can do it by yourself, and I did, but it's definitely way easier with somebody else on there. So what you're going to want to do is you hold the B2 onto the door, and you put in the screws, kind of hand tighten them, and kind of make sure that it's aligned with the hinge on the door. That's the biggest part. As long as the hinge is aligned, or the bracket for the B2 is aligned to the hinge on the door, and it looks straight, then you're good to go. Then all you got to do is tighten that. You'll need an Allen wrench, and I'm forgetting the sizes right now, and kind of a socket wrench. One goes on the opposite side, and you kind of crank it. Um, um, Yeah, so that's how you get that done. After you got those, I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting distracted. So after you get that mounted and tightened, then you can go ahead and drill. To drill it in, you're going to need I had a 6-inch drill bit. I think that's a standard size of drill bit. But if you had like a 12-inch, that's probably a whole lot better, because if you have a 12-inch, you don't have to do any finagling. I had a 6-inch, so I'm going to explain that process first. So what I did is, after I tightened those hinge screws or nuts and bolts on there, I drilled through the hole into the van, right? And then what I had to do is I had to loosen the bottom 2 screws so I can swing that B2 carrier out of the way and then drill the rest of the way, right? So just loosen the bottom 2. Well, actually, you got to loosen the top ones as well, and then kind of swing it out of the way and drill the rest of the way through. The easiest thing you want to do is just get a 12-inch drill bit. That way, after you've tightened that, you don't have to loosen it. You don't have to mess around with it. You can literally just drill right through, and you're done. Put a little paint around that hole, of course, so it doesn't rust out. And then try to get, if you can catch those metal shavings, because they kind of fall through your door or into your door, into the door well or whatever. If you can catch those, that's great. Or if you got a magnet of some sort, so you can pick up all those little filings or remnants of drilling, that's probably great, so that they don't rust in there or start causing rust. But anyways, that is that step. And again, I am so sorry that there's no video on this. But what are you going to do? Anyways, thank you. All right, so I've got my hole drilled, and I don't have very long bits, right? So I'll put it next to the drill so you can get an idea of how long that is. So I don't have very long ones, so I was not able to do this with it still in place. So what I did, instead of taking the whole thing off, this is just to kind of protect it so it doesn't scratch the vehicle, but I loosened the top 2 bolts and I took the bottom 2 completely out. And then what I'm doing is just moving it sideways. That exposes the hole. That's after I drilled the pilot. With the 2 screws still in, I was able to just at least kind of mark it so I would know where to drill. And then I hold it off to the side like that, and then I'm able to drill, and then that protects that from scratching. So now I'm able to drill that out. It ended up being a size, oh, good Lord, I don't know, whatever size those bolts are. I think this ended up being 23 and 64. You know what? I'm not actually 100% sure, but whichever one it was, I think it's that 2364. But it's a tight fit, which I think I kind of want it tight, so I'll have to screw it in a little bit. But what I'm going to do now is clean it out, and then I'm gonna put some paint on that so it doesn't rust. and then I'll be able to insulate the inside, put some sound deadening, insulate, and put that door back on. Okay, that is on now. And was there a hard part? Not really. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. That's where the ladder used to, the factory ladder used to connect to, so I just left it on there for right now. Right now, I'm gonna knock right here, and then you're gonna hear that. Hear that rattling? So when I put the insulation, I'm gonna do it again just to see what happens, or if that kind of gets rid of the noise a little bit. So I'm gonna take all this stuff out and put some sound deadening in there, and then some insulation, and we'll knock on it again. All right, so I've got some sound deadening in here, just some strips here and there. We're gonna do that same knock again, and we're knocking right here. So much better. So here's the final result. I've just put the Havelock, one of the two, wool in here, and tons of room in there to stuff it in, so I went ahead and stuffed it in, so that's good now. In the end, I think I want to get rid of the panels that go around here and do something a little bit different, some kind of I don't know, maybe bamboo or something like that that attaches to here, so you can do different things. Like, there's a lot of space that's back here, and in a van like this, you want to maximize your storage. So I'm thinking some of these areas here can be used as storage, but for right now, I just got them stuffed, and that'll be a project for another time, or once I find somebody who's really making something like that. But well, that's that side. And that's that side. I'm going to put the panels back on now, and we'll see what happens here. So I got this panel back in now, but this door panel was the worst one to put in. Maybe you've got experience with doing paneling and vehicles and whatever else not, so you're going to find it easy, but I found this the hardest. And I think one of the things to remember is that don't clip it in until you've got this completely in, and you're gonna need multiple tools, right? I had this stuck over here, and then I had, you know, just this little piece of bendy something stuck up here just to kind of get it in, but definitely don't clip it in before you get it in. You wanna, this is gonna take you the most time if you're like me, unless you get lucky, and then, you know, maybe you're like me, but you get lucky and you get it done the first time. But that took me the longest time right there to do that. I still have to put in that door, but that's easy. That's just slamming them in there. But I want to shut this so you can kind of see what it looks like now. With both the racks on there, and that's what it looks like so far. I still got to put the bars that hold the bicycles, or whatever you call them. Those still got to go up, but I mean, it looks worlds different already as it is. So super excited about that. So again, lost this part of the video. The last part here is the installation of the actual racks themselves, where you end up mounting the bicycles or the one-up bike rack or whatever system you're going to use onto that. So that's pretty easy. You grab those poles, and then I think there's like the last bolt is like a 1-inch bolt, and that goes in, you know, it sticks out this way, so the bolt goes in that way. The nut goes on the back towards the door of the van. So you just screw those in, and you pick whatever height you're going to use. If you're going to do a large box, which is what I'm going to do, is you got to put it all the way at the very top, which is, so there's a bunch of different holes, and you can choose any of those holes depending on what you're planning on doing. But that's the last part. That part is honestly not that hard at all. So I kind of almost don't feel bad that I've lost that video, but it would be kind of nice to have it anyway, so that would be a complete work. But anyways, the whole job took me, 30, 45 minutes to do the whole thing, and that's stopping and recording and doing all that kind of stuff so that I would have this video and then losing all the video. But anyways, I know this was kind of crappy, but I hope at least maybe you were able to kind of fumble your way through that and get it done. And good job if you did.